Welcome back. My name is Rhett Downing, and I'm a mass communication master's student with a strong research focus in communication studies and interpersonal relationships. So today, I think it's going to be fairly quick. We're going to be going over memory and strategies on how to improve it. For instance, I think this might help for people who want to learn how to remember names better. And a lot of this stuff we're going to know, by the way, so I should preface that. On another note, I'm a bit unkept and untidy, so don't mind me. And on another note, this is a new mic, and I hope y'all enjoy it. So let's get right into things. Got some notes here we're going to go over first. Memory declines over time. Many of us know that. Anything regarding thinking in general, anything regarding judging our memories, judging our metacognitive skills. Oh, metacognition is a fancy way of saying thinking about thinking. Learn something new every day, right? So anything regarding thinking or judging memories, judging metacognitive ability, whatever, is hard work. Period. It's hard work. So that's why so few people do it. And because of this, we create strategies on how to mitigate the effort exuded or that has to be exuded to get to things like beliefs or judgments or feelings or solutions, especially solutions to problems. So we rely on things like heuristics, which is a mental process that allows us to reach a solution or a judgment quicker and to mitigate or lessen the amount of effort required to get to those solutions, to get to the end goal. Very cool stuff. Mental energy. And it makes sense if you think about something like if you were to read a research paper that has a great deal of heavy words, things you don't understand, or I'll give you an example of me. When I'm listening to political debates, I get tired very quickly. Trying to keep up with these people uses a lot of my mental energy. That's an example. So, an example of a heuristic, for instance, is something like someone asks us a question and we look at the availability of information in our head. What do you know about giraffes? How tall is a giraffe? Right then, in that question, you may immediately go to the availability of giraffes in your head. If it's not a lot, if there's not a lot of information available, you could say, well, I don't really know. I don't, personally. I could take a guess. Let's say 25 feet. Well, now I'm curious. How tall is a giraffe? Why did you give it to me in inches? 19. Okay, I was relatively close. Well, now we know. Look at that. Wow, we learn something new every day, right? Heuristics. It's amazing. I love this sort of stuff. Next, that could also coincide with strength of memory. How strong, okay, let me ask you, what do you remember about your childhood? What was your favorite childhood memory? You go back. You think of the strength of the memory. And then if it's strong, you tell me. Interesting, right? Another example of a heuristic. Recognition. And the speed of which we recognize something. What's 7 times 7? Right, something like that. Something as fast as that. Recognition. We understand that. Or I think that could also play into terms of testing, for instance. If we look at a practice test and we see a problem similar that's on the practice test and that's also on the actual test. Recognition. Another great tool, which is the main point of this whole video, and I hope I'm not rambling, is mnemonics. Many of us understand these sorts of things. Some of us use them. And they can also lessen the amount of energy required to learn something like a name. Now, it takes practice. Like when I say these things are hard, they are hard. Anything that requires mental energy is tiring. One of the reasons why we may not remember people's names right off the bat is because we don't add enough value to them when we meet them. Perhaps we know we're never going to see them again. Perhaps if it's in a class, for instance, or something where you do see someone often, it's like, well, I'm not even going to talk to them, so it's really not worth remembering their name. So it's even if we want to remember their name, we typically attach things that are very surface level. He has curly hair. She has blue eyes. She is fit, right? So a good idea to try and remember people's names is to attach something that's a little bit deeper. For instance, I have a whole bunch of notes here. Interests, passions, hobbies. What do they do for work? What are their beliefs? Try not to get into political beliefs unless you want to. That's very dangerous. Or it can be dangerous. But my point is, it's typically always surface level. But that's sometimes the easiest thing to do is surface level. For instance, how I remember people's names is through mnemonics, typically with rhymes and alliteration. I love alliteration, from which you're about to see. These are just some of the people recently I've met whose names I remember and whose names I've committed to memory. And also, they may not even remember me. Matter of fact, I saw one of them today, and he didn't remember who I was, but I remembered who he was. So it's kind of like a fun little game. Takes practice. Absolutely. Example, Joe Schmo from the other side of the snow. That's how I remember Joe. He's in my psychology course. And it helps also that he looks kind of similar to Joe from You. So that helps, right? And that's not a, let's see. There's a few in here that have to do with surface level characteristics, but it helps because there's mnemonics. I add alliteration or I add, something worthy of being remembered. Joe Schmo from the other side of the snow. Okay. Hallie, sister of Sally, who sold seashells on the other side of the shore. Almost said store. Look at that. Hallie, sister of Sally, rhyme, who sold seashells on the other side of the shore. Damn, it's always the last part. Alliteration. Tim the Taylor Trailer Man. Alliteration. Claire with the pretty blonde hair. See, look at this. And then you commit it to memory by going over it. And I completely forgot to go over this. This screen right here. I just went through all the notes. So we're going to define a mnemonic right now. A mnemonic is an instructional strategy designed to help students improve their memory of important information. This technique connects new learning to prior knowledge through the use of visual and/or acoustic cues. Cues, we use a lot of those. The basic types of mnemonic strategies rely on the use of keywords, rhyming words, or acronyms. Oh my goodness, people, what did I just show y'all? Teachers may develop mnemonic strategies. Yes, helps it. Benefits. Mnemonics are strategies that can be modified to fit a variety of learning content. This method enhances memory of complex words or ideas and promotes better retention of material to be learned. Better retention. We also judge how well our retention rates are. Here's some examples. 2 is shoe. 7 is heaven. Everybody gets the idea. Now what's going to happen is you're going to need to practice because it's hard and it's draining. So the first time you meet somebody, it's likely that you're not going to be able to sit and have a conversation with them and also make up a mnemonic in your head. That's multitasking, and typically people can't multitask. Those who say they're good at multitasking, literature suggests that they're not. Nobody's really good at multitasking. So if you think you're good at multitasking, try that. Meet somebody and try and make a mnemonic in your head while you're having a conversation. That is multitasking. And that's hard. So, this is 10 minutes already? Oh my goodness. Let's watch this. It's beautiful. I want to come right out and say, I had the perfect video example, but I got a copyright claim on it, and I disputed it because obviously purely for educational purposes, and they still denied it. And it just grinds my gears. Anyway, instead of finding a new video, I found this little thing here. And even within my vitriol toward these guys, I found this chart. And I think it would be very helpful because I only went over, what, 2 types of mnemonics, probably? The surface level stuff and the deeper value stuff, and even all the ones I use are surface level. So this will likely give us a better idea of how many mnemonic systems there are. Systems, techniques, strategies, whatever you'd like to call it. Oh, systems. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to be honest. This is like one of the first articles that popped up on Google Scholar when it came to mnemonics in education. So I mean, I just glazed through this baby. And then when I found this chart, I was like, you know what? This is going to be good enough. So I'll leave the link in the description in case y'all want to go take a look at this. It's mnemonics in education. They're talking about using it in classrooms and things of that nature. So let's begin. The link method. Oh, actually, before we start, I do believe that these bottom 3 are the ones that are most used. I can draw over my face. Oh my God, I have to keep that in the video. Okay, let's get this show on the road. The link method. Interactive visual imagery connects items in a list, making a chain. Item 1 is joined with item 2. A separate image joins item 2 with item 3, and so on, thus retrieving one item in the list cues the next item. Think of a web of imagery, and in case you want to remember something like this bottle, I can put an image of a cylinder, I can put an image of water, I can put an image of this color, put them all together, and then if I want to remember it, I just have to get cues for one of them in order to be more likely to remember this bottle. Interesting. Method of loci, heard of it, don't know too much about it. First, a memory palace. I know what this is. A mental map of a building or walk that you know well, such as your house, is memorized. Then imagery is used to store list items at different locations throughout the palace. Items are retrieved by walking through the palace. Very strange. I have not heard too many people use it. I've tried it myself. It is tough, but give it a shot. Maybe it'll work for you. So imagine it kind of like the way I had imagined it at first, because I didn't want to imagine a palace or my home. It was large, too much to remember. So I just remembered a filing cabinet. And if I wanted to remember something, I'd pick it up and I'd have to walk to the cabinet and then open the drawer, put it in exactly where I wanted to remember it, and then shut the drawer. And that goes with filing cabinets are for storing files, so there's plenty of them, right? Plenty of memories. And so if I wanted to remember that, I'd have to try really hard to remember exactly where I stored it in the filing cabinet. That's similar. They're talking about a palace, actually. And the home may help. I may try my home again. It's been a while since I've used it. Peg system. A peg list, or a list of concrete objects in a specific order. 1 is bun, 2 is shoe, 3 is flea, is learned. Then visual imagery combines the to-be-remembered items with the peg items. Items can be retrieved by thinking of a number and the corresponding peg, which cues the target item. Keyword method. First, a keyword is found that sounds like the unfamiliar word. Example, dentist sounds like le dent. Then imagery joins the keyword with the definition of the familiar, Then the imagery joins the keyword with the definition of the unfamiliar word. An image of a dentist holding a large tooth. Seeing le dent activates dentist, which in turn should activate tooth. Interesting. I need to count how many times I've said interesting. What would that, 3? Phonetic system. Each number corresponds to a consonant sound. 1 equals T, 2 equals N, 3 equals M, etc. Then numbers can be remembered as words using vowels as necessary. For example, 3, 2, 1 can be remembered as manatee. Words can be decoded back into numbers. I laugh because I don't think I've ever used that one, and I don't think I've actually ever heard of someone else using it. Well, I know the phonetic system, but it just seems so wacky. I mean, mnemonics are wacky in the first place. Acronyms. The first letters of a list of words are used to create a new word. For example, the colors of the rainbow. Yep. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet can be remembered as Roy G. Biv. Who hasn't learned that? Each letter serves as a retrieval cue. Oh my gosh. Look at this. How many times am I going to use Q, Q, Q? Look, there's an overarching theme here. If you want to get better at remembering things, and make your remembering more efficient, use cues. Use cues. You can remember that easily, can't you? I'm sure that's on the list somewhere on here. Okay, I knew how to pronounce this before starting this video. Acrostics, that's not it. Acrostics, nope, that's not it. Hey, where's my pen? Hey, I already had it up there. See?
Acrostic.
Acrostic. Damn it. Acrostic. Acronyms. Acrostic. They're similar. Acrostics. The first letter in a list of words serve as the first letters in a new sentence or phrase. For example, the colors of the rainbow can be remembered as Richard of York gave battle in vain. I think we've heard of this one. That's good. The first letter in each word of the acrostic, serves as a retrieval cue. Songs, stories, and rhymes. Words in a list are joined together by being elements in a story or by being included in a song or a rhyme. Songs and rhymes can also be written to remember specific pieces of information. Good stuff. Good stuff. I think this gives us a great idea of just how many techniques there are available. And so try them out. The Palace one's really interesting. Anything coming with the brain, right? We've talked about it. It takes work. So just remember that. Yeah, cool stuff, man. I love it. I wish I could show you a video, but that's okay. This list probably turned out a little bit better. So yes, this is 8 minutes. Okay, that's all I have for us. I'm going to underline this again. Look it over, baby. Practice it, baby. And that's all I have for you. So I'll see you in the next video, because it's going to be a good one as per the usual. Thanks for watching.